What is going on, everybody? Been a diehard Pistons fan since 2003 and starting to get very optimistic about this Pistons team. The Detroit Pistons have a very big game today against the Phoenix Suns. It will be tipping off at 4 o'clock. The time was changed for the game, of course, to accommodate for the Lions game tonight. In this video, we are going to go through, talk about the top 3 things I will be looking to observe in this matchup. We'll talk about what I think the ticket to winning the game will be, and at the very back half of the video, I just kind of want to talk about the potential repercussions that could come from this very important game. So, the first thing I will be looking to observe is going to be, can our shooters get hot? Namely, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway, but you could even lump in guys like Simone Fontecchio into that group as well. Last game, Malik Beasley shot 1 of 10 from 3. Tim Hardaway was able to pick up some slack and knock down some shots. But what I've noticed is since Jaden Ivey has gone down, we need somebody each game to step up in the scoring department in order for us to be successful as far as our wing shooters go. Right now, if Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, Simone Fontecchio are all cold, that leaves way too much of a burden on Cade to score the ball. So I'm not sure if the Pistons might look to try and acquire somebody who can be a bit of a secondary shot creator next to Cade at the trade deadline. That's a whole other topic for another video. But what I know right now is that it's really difficult for us to win games unless one of these guys, like Beasley, Hardaway, or Fontecchio, are able to step up and get hot. So we'll be paying close attention to that because, not to be dramatic, but it's kind of necessary for the Pistons to win games right now. Hypothetically, if we go out there tonight and see Malik Beasley has another 1 of 8 outing and Tim Hardaway Jr. is 1 for 4 and Simone Fontecchio is 1 for 5 from 3, I don't think that there's really a realistic way that we can expect to win that game. In today's NBA, three-point shooting is so important, but given the circumstances of Jaden Ivey, who is our second leading scorer, no longer being available, that three-point shooting becomes super important, especially when teams start to sell out to stop Cade, like the Pacers did in the last game. So, moving on, the second thing that I will be looking to observe is just everything surrounding Cade Cunningham. This is pretty much a staple at this point in these preview videos because this team goes as far as Cade Cunningham pushes them. Night in and night out, Cade Cunningham has to play well for the Pistons to expect to win these games. And so far this year, more times than not, he has done a great job of doing that. But there is a side note here. Something that I will definitely be paying attention close to tonight is, who does Cade guard? Last game against the Phoenix Suns, Cade Cunningham took Kevin Durant as a matchup for pretty much the entirety of the night. And he did a great job of that. Cade being able to step out and take the matchup of Kevin Durant, who is one of the greatest scorers in the history of basketball, is so huge for himself, for this team, and for everything included. And honestly, it's a development that I wasn't sure would ever totally get there. Right now, you look around the league, guys like Cade that take on a huge offensive usage, these tall guards or even smaller guards. Think guys like Tyrese Halliburton, think LaMelo Ball, think Luka Doncic. Guys like that, most of them are just Swiss cheese on defense 99% of the time, whether that's because they don't have the athletic ability to be good defenders or they just are too tired from dribbling the air out of the ball every possession and making plays. That's not Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham will go guard LeBron. He will go guard Kevin Durant. And we saw that last time that we played the Suns, and he did a heck of a job doing so. So I will be interested to see if Cade guards Kevin Durant again tonight, because the last time that we played the Suns, Devin Booker was out. He will be playing tonight. So maybe Cade spends a little time guarding Booker instead of Durant. Maybe they try and throw different looks at him and catch him off guard. Who knows? But I will be paying close attention to it. And lastly, the last thing I will be looking to observe is, what do the Marcus Sasser minutes look like? Of course, again, talking about since Jaden Ivey has gone down, that has left Marcus Sasser to be our backup primary initiator of the offense. And I don't hate it. Probably don't dislike it at all, but I definitely don't dislike it as much as a lot of people in my comment section. But I got to be honest, sometimes it can get pretty stagnant. The thing about Marcus Sasser, primary minutes, which is at this point all the minutes Cade is not playing, Marcus Sasser needs to score the ball in order for this whole thing to work. He's not going to be the guy who comes off the bench and can make a huge impact on the game without scoring the ball. For the Pistons to do well in the minutes where Cade is off, Marcus Sasser typically needs to get a few shots up and make a few of them. He has that in his bag. And I think that it's kind of hit or miss. Right now, since Ivey has went down, there's been a few games where I've thought to myself, man, these non-Cade minutes are really brutal. But then there's other moments where it looks really good. So at this point, it's kind of a dice roll on how the non-Cade minutes will look. And a lot of it comes down to what is Marcus Sasser up to during that point in time. Is Marcus Sasser going to get 9 points on 4 shots? Or is he going to have 2 points on 2 shots? That makes a huge difference in the 10 to 15 minutes where Cade is not on the floor each night, and something that I've not only paid close attention to for the last few weeks, but something that I will pay attention to tonight and going forward. So overall, hoping for a big game for Marcus Sasser, because if he's able to come off the bench and plug in those 10, 15 minutes without Cade and keep the team rolling, I have a good feeling about the game tonight. So what do I think the ticket to winning this game will be? It's going to be just not turning over the basketball. At the start of the year, the Pistons had a huge turnover problem, and it cost them quite a few games. There were games at the start of the year where the Pistons would have 19, 20 plus turnovers, and when you turned off the TV at the end of the night, it felt like the Pistons would have won the game if they were able to protect the basketball. Throughout the year, they had gotten better at hanging on to the basketball. Cade got better at hanging on to the basketball. His individual turnovers went down month by month. But over the last week or so, those issues have kind of started to come back to the top of the worry scale. So I think if the Pistons are able to hang on to the basketball, and the couple things I talked about tonight, our shooters shooting respectably, and our non-Cade minutes going well, I think the Pistons will have a good chance of winning this game. And I think it's really important that they do so, because right now they're 1 game above 500, and staying above 500 through this kind of difficult schedule stretch up until All-Star break would be super, super good. I know it sounds dramatic, but every game right now feels like a super important game, but that's just the nature of being a team that's right around 500. And any given stretch, any week, say a bad week happens, we could instantly be pretty well set in that 9th seed spot in the standings with a lot of ground to make up. Or if we go on another stretch and say win 3 or 4 more games, we could be the 4th seed by the time February rolls around. So every game right now is super important. This one is a little extra important because it's a huge day in Detroit. Of course, we got the Pistons at the Little Caesars Arena at 4 o'clock, and then the Lions playoff game across the street directly after. So a lot of good energy in the air. I hope all the fans that are there bring that energy, and hopefully the team is able to soak it up and get the win tonight. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch up soon.